Hello, hello. I am Astro from Backstar. Thanks for watching this video. I am starting a series of warframe videos. These are going to be build videos focusing on different frames. Today I'm going to do my first one on Styanax. We'll start with a general overview of Styanax's abilities, what I took out with the helmet system, options on the helmet system, arcane variations. I will only touch on weapons if I feel like this necessitates the build. With Styanax, use whatever the hell you want. You can use literally any weapon on him, he'll be fine. But we'll get right into it. He is a shield-based frame. We'll get into what it is about that in just a minute. His passive is, with his shields, he gets increased critical chance. This doubles for spear guns, which it is what it is on that. Some of the spear guns are good. You can build pretty much any weapon to do good. This stability I got rid of was the Axios Javelin. It's literally you just throw a javelin and it will impale enemies against the wall. It also does an explosion that causes damage and sucks everything in for a brief duration. This is a way of, in higher level things, easy stripping of armor from enemies. The Pharaoh Strike. He does a spectral shield throw with a line of shields that deal damage, and it heals him as well as reduces defenses. Both the health and defense reduction scale off of power strength, as well as damage. We'll get into that in a moment. This is his, what I feel like is his signature ability, would be Rally Point. He puts a buff on everybody within range, grants them a shield on kill bonus. This will stack up on your overshields, and this will continue on for the duration. You can easily recast it, and also it does help with energy. His final stand, his fourth ability, or ult as some people would say, is a barrage of shield or spear throws. I almost said shield there, while summoning some spectral ones to chuck the javelins as well. As you can see on the build, I do have Intrepid Stand. That makes it to where every time something gets hit with the javelins that are thrown, it grants Overguard. That Overguard does increase with power strength. Now, let's get into the actual build. So, technically this build can be a 4-forma build very easily. I did an Umbral forma here just to get in the power drift. I have ran it without the power drift. It runs completely fine. That is not a requirement in this build. But I used 2 of the Umbrals, Intensify and Vitality. Well, yes, I did say this is a shield-based build. We'll get into that momentarily on that. Adaptation to make yourself even tankier. Primed Redirection, of course, if you don't have it. Next time Barketeer brings it, make sure to pick that up. Primed Vigor, I believe this was a 600-day login reward. I don't remember exactly on that. I know it was from the logins. It might have been 750, something like that. But it was way up there in login days. Primed Continuity. Same thing as before. Barketeer sells it. If he happens to sell it, pick it up. The Intrepid Stand Augment. Like I was mentioning, it makes it where each javelin hits somebody, they grant Overguard, and he also grants it to his allies. Humble Vitality, and a Primed Flow, yet again, Barketeer. This build has a 155 duration base, 100 efficiency, 100 range, and 170 strength at base. The reason I'm saying at base here is because of this. Multi-augmented, I would say, of the two, if you use it and on many other frames, multi-augmented is a very easy pick for any power strength frame, or any frame that scales off power strength, as long as you're not running a negative strength build. So as you can see, it's 0.24%, and it stacks 250 times on a kill. At the end of it, I believe your rally point recovers 102 or 3 shield at max, I think, something like that. So yet again, he is a shield-based frame. I use Arcane Blessing, though, to augment his health already, also because I replaced his Javelin ability with Gloom to make it to where I can heal even more. And also it gives him an AoE slow. Along with Pharaoh Strike, that normally it has no problem maxing out my health. At max on your multi-augmented, that will fully strip armor on that. As you can see with Intrepid Stand, even though the mod does not depict like some of them do, it actually does go up with power strength. However, you don't have to use Arcane Blessing. That is a completely optional thing. If you prefer armor to health, feel free to use Umbral Fiber. That is completely up to you. If you do use Umbral Fiber, that will grant you a armor of 609 instead of the 265. Now, arcane options, I would not suggest using a GS or barrier, because 90% of the time you're going to be above your, you're going to have overshield anyways, which they do not affect overshield. You can use Arcane Energize if you want. I'm not a huge fan of it, so I don't really use Arcane Energize. Arcane Guardian if you want the extra armor. There are plenty of options you can go with here, honestly, but to me, I would mainly just do Grace, or not Grace, listen to me, Blessing, and that. You can also use Avenger if you want more crit chance. With him, you can make anything pretty much red crit with that, and then his ability atop of a base crit chance that is halfway decent. Arcane Rage would be another option there, just go to town on him. That is completely up to you, like I said. Now, Energy Siphon is one I use just for the extra energy. Honestly, you could very easily throw Corrosive Projection if you want. Pretty much any augment you could throw on there. Or not augment, any aura you could throw on there. That is completely up to you. It is a choice of preference thing. Just like how we're about to go into over here and look at the helmet system. Also, if you've noticed the massive shield count base of that is not maximum, because the, let's just say, the shards hate my guts. But I put in all blue ones and put them on shield capacity. With these on, you're capping out your shields with overshield at over 5,100. So you are running a high shield count, almost comparable to a lot of Hildrens. But you outlive the Hildrens because of your health and everything. As for optional abilities to put in instead of Gloom, I could very easily see somebody putting in a Roar if they wanted to add more damage with support ability. If you wanted to do Nourish, I could see that. Pillage, if you wanted to add even more shield to it. A Radial Blind is fine. Shooting Gallery would be an interesting pick, but would already work with him where he is duration based anyways. Zada's Whisper is one I've done on him before. The only thing I dislike about Zada's Whisper is, yes, it's a good chunk of damage and it's void damage. However, it does put that bullet attractor effect on, and depending on your weapon, that can mess up your weapon. Warcry, I mean, why not? There's plenty of abilities you could throw on him and be fine with. This build is made for Styanax to last forever. You put this on and you use it to build right, you will not fall. The weapons are completely optional. Although I do like using the Grimoire because I have seen tons of people talk crap about this thing. It is not a bad weapon. And then you have the exotic invocation to add energy gain. Now the only reason I'm going into the melee here is because when I use Styanax, instead of using like a melee animosity, I do like using this, melee retaliation. Because with the amount of shields he starts with and everything, you have a massive amount of extra damage. It is literally just a thing to add, free damage. We will be going into a Netrocell to show you how the build functions. Styanax is one of my main frames to choose for the Netrocells, and you'll be seeing why as soon as I stop being blind and not seeing demos. I have soloed this with Styanax before. I would say as long... Shut up, fish. I would say as long as you don't get the one that drains energy for nearby enemies, this build can solo any Netrocell as far as the negatives. But okay, I wasn't completely happy with how the squad mission went with the Netrocells, so I decided I will do a solo Netrocell to fully show you the capacity of this build. This is the same build I showed you and everything. Is literally right after the mission that I just did for that video, but I decided to just do a solo one to fully show the capacity of it. I do have ones that take away health. I do have ones that damage me for abilities. I do have a stun one, so we will fight. And it gives me a perfect opportunity of showing you the limit of the build. Or should I say the non-limit of the build. Pop bloom since we're losing health. And there we have that damn conductive shit going on. But as you can see, very easily reach your maximum health, or your maximum shield, I mean. And now we'll just continue on. I will keep Gloom on because of that. However, when you do not have anyone within the range of Gloom, your rally point will recover your energy. Keep that in mind. Gloom is a channel, but it only takes away energy when you have something within its range. I'm just gonna cipher that because, yeah. Pop that again. As you can see, with all honesty, with Bloom on, even the health debuffs on here, it is negligible. Also, if you, instead of using Gloom, if you chose one of the damage options I had mentioned earlier, you can very easily just Thorough Strike something to get your health back, as so. It is a very easy way to get health back, and the amount that it displays for the ability when you look at it, that is per enemy hit. It is not just a flat amount. So do keep that in mind. All in all, I find Netrocells to be one of the... I honestly like them. I wish I could do more of them a week for stuff, but what you gonna do on that note, I do feel like they need to add a higher difficulty Netracell though. I want to see something more testing of people's that test people more. Which there are plenty of people that do have trouble with Netracells, and there is no issue with that. I mean, everybody will have their own capacity, everybody will have their own limitations via mods and everything else. That is completely fine. Just go ahead and recover health. As you can see, even with it on, or with Gloom on, I am still keeping a good amount of health, or I'm keeping a good amount of energy while Gloom recovers my health when needed. You could also opt to just turn Gloom on and off, that is an option. So go ahead and pop Rally Point again. Rally Point is a good way to just have energy regeneration, even with other things on. As you can see how quickly it goes, and then it'll obviously go down when I meet something. But that's to be expected, because that's when Gloom actually starts applying its cost to things.
Using the key glyphs will open
now we get to the fun part.
So be ready. I was afraid of this.
Now we get to the war.
Security system won't open with all the uglies around. Clear them out and make sure the system can see you doing it.
Do keep in mind of your energy when you do this, because Gloom will tax your energy when you're in this stage of the fight. Gloom can be a taxing ability if you're not careful on how you use it. For you. Remember, the purpose of this build is not to kill shit with your abilities. It is to rely on your gunplay for more killing. If you cannot do that, I would suggest probably looking at a different route for a build. I do not feel Styanax is one made to drop every one of his abilities. Styanax is one to literally stand forever in a battlefield. And you can see Rally Points offers a good amount of recharge just from that. We also need to stop with the staggering crap.
Damn necromites are reinforcing the Netracell.
Oh, down here.
Your hands
Okay.
are tied until you knock them out.
So the only thing that can actually in this run right here is going to be the necromite itself, because necromites can sometimes decide to glitch into a wall. I'm hoping that it doesn't do that, because unfortunately Styanax does not have any wall-piercing abilities, aside from the javelin, which is the one that I remove. Holy crap, that is a far necromite. But you can see how the energy... Oh, actually I'm in the way. But the energy is recharging fairly good. It's very easy to stay around 400 energy with this. With Gloom activated and everything, all things considered. Yeah, I'm going the right way. Fair warning, if you're like me and have the freaking, direction sense of Zorro, these Netracell missions, they are a freaking annoyance. Okay, I don't know why that ability canceled on me. Which you can see I'm losing health. That's fine, because I will be gaining that health right back as soon as I get to our target. I'm not worried about my health right now. If my health does get low on the way back, I will Pharaoh Strike something. Why did I almost say Pharaoh Strike? But yes, I will just smack something and regain health. And now we're back in. Let's pop open Gloom and return to the fight. And we are instantly back up to our maximum, our current maximum, which we haven't had any health boards really drop this run. Which those are one of the highest damaging things in the game right now. Why is he not able to be executed? That is weird. Okay, but those Blitz Eximus like that, those are to me, are the highest damaging enemies in the game, because that will drop your shields from max to 0 no matter how much shields you have. That is the one thing that will one-shot anybody if you do not have shields and no way of saving yourself via like quick thinking or something on the health-based frames. Oh. Get rid of you. Now all the nuisances. If you don't have it, I would suggest picking up the Bursting Incarnon. The Bursting Prime is a great and old, tried and true weapon. We're about to hit the mark for the next Necromite. Do keep in mind those rogue ones are the ones that summon the Voidrigs. But as you can see, this build has no problem staying alive, even with all the XMI here. You'll have no issue whatsoever. The only thing I will say is, if you have more of the Leech XMI, do focus on them, because that is the health drain is something that will bypass your shields and completely screw you over. But you can possibly fight that with Gloom in effect and with Pharaoh Strike. Alright. Time to go find the next Necromite.
What's going on with...
I turn Gloom off and let my energy recharge. Current energy count is 280 after popping that. Now this time though, I will probably attack enemies that's in the way just to regain my overshields. Or am I already in the room? I'm already in the room. Okay, never mind then. Well, if that's the case, go ahead and refresh my timer. Pop Gloom. And we'd be back in the fight. As I said before, this build focuses more on gunplay. If you're the type of person that prefers only your abilities be your main thing and not care about your guns, this will not be for you. Styanax will not be the frame for you. I will just go ahead and say that, because Styanax's abilities is more for survival. Oh. Is it up the stairs? Buddy, I did not say you could help them. But see, at 28 stacks with the Arcane Blessing, I am at 1800 health. maximum. So even if something does chew through my shield, with bloom in effect, that's still a very good amount of health to have to maintain a fight. However, as you can see, most enemies aside from Blix XMI will not be able to take that health down. Or take that shield down. So it is completely up to you whether you want Gloom or something else. That is a completely optional move. Before I swapped the Gloom, I did rely on Pharaoh Strike for healing. I personally used Status Whisper. And we can just go ahead here and claim this Nitrocell.
Whatever Albrecht was hiding, and get back to the sanctum.
If you didn't know, while that elevator is coming up, if you shoot an AoE weapon, even though you can see it hit around the container, it will make you flinch for some reason. That's kind of a funny little glitch.
Papa left some bad things behind. That book's
Wait, book?
one of them.
Where's the book? I actually kind of want to do the book here. Alright. We're just going to go ahead and max out our health, and we will do the book. Or max out our shield, I mean, not my health. Because once you have claimed it, all those will disappear. But let's show you how a Nitrocell book goes.
And it's out. You let it out.
If you have Incarnon weapons, this guy is really easy to... really easy to drop.
Not safe. It's still out there. You have to kill all of it.
Gloom.
Not just the skin.
Gloom does affect the entity of the book, the Whisper, by the effects of your slows, and it will leech life from them.
You woke up a bad thing. But then you killed him. So, I guess you did.
But there you have it. And also, ooh, Archon Shard, nice. But thank you for watching, and if you like it, please drop a sub to the YouTube channel. I stream over on Twitch. I will link that below. And everybody have a nice night. Put comments in if there's any specific frames you want me to do next. I'm trying to decide between doing either Citrine or Volt next. So everybody, have a nice night.